Jonathan Lee Riches Investigates. We are analyzing and investigating on what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania, Saturday evening. Right here, you see 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks. He is the would-be assassin who went to a Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania to do bodily harm onto Donald Trump. And we've been digging deeply in on this guy and trying to get an understanding on who he is and why he did it. I do want to share some information, though. At the rally, we've been sharing interviews that attendees have been giving, and there was a doctor there. There was a doctor there that he was tending people that were injured because of this guy right here. And I want to share this doctor's clip because if this doctor wasn't there, there could have been more loss of life, possibly. Check it out.
Dr. Jim Sweetland, an ER physician, was at the scene of last night's rally when he witnessed the shooting. He said he administered aid to a spectator who was gravely hurt. Dr. Sweetland, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Doctor, can you just relay your experience of what what happened to you, and have you ever been in a live kind of situation like this? Obviously in the ER, but I mean out in the field with this kind of thing happening.
To answer the second question first, I've never been in a live shooting arena before. I have no combat experience. I was on the left bandstand as you're facing Donald Trump on the stage. I was underneath the Jumbotron, and he was showing the graphic about immigration. And we were turned to look at it, my friend and I, Gary Shelley, and I heard three pops, actually, pop, 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 then a pause, and then four others, pop, 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 pop. I turned to see the president entirely covered by Secret Service, and to my right, down in the same bandstand, was a woman shouting out, "He's been shot. He's down." And I turned my attention to her. Other individuals in the bandstand were sheltering, and I made my way over to that individual and administered CPR. And as you might guess, when I first arrived, I said, "I'm a doctor," and nobody believed me. And then I said, "I'm an ER physician. Could you help me get this man up on the bench?" He had been shot in the head, body had twisted as he fell. Everybody in the bandstand was standing at that time, so I assumed he was. Two individuals that were in shock themselves looked at me and got up and helped me get him back on a bench so I could administer CPR. Unfortunately, the man had a gunshot wound just above his ear, had no pulse and no respirations. And so I started to administer CPR to him as well as giving him rescue breathing. And I did so for about 2 minutes. And then I was tapped on the shoulder, and two of the biggest Pennsylvania State Police officers I've ever seen were behind me, and they said, "We'll take him." And they picked him up, unfortunately, like a rag doll, and took him from the stands. I looked up to see his family, who had witnessed my efforts at resuscitation, and the look on their faces said it all. My heart goes out to that family. My prayers go out with them. I'm sorry, I was in shock yesterday. The gravity of that situation is hitting me right now.
Well, of course, and we thank you for helping us understand the situation and your reaction to it and what you went through. Doctor, you see this kind of thing all the time, I would imagine, in your day job. But this was clearly something different. Your training kicked in, but tell us about how this differs from what you have to do every day, which is deal with life and death as you face it in the ER.
The difference was I was a first responder in that moment. And a shout out to all the MS that go out in the field and perform that duty every day and then bring them into me stabilized in the emergency department. This was raw. There was blood. There was brain matter around this man. And he needed immediate help. That's the difference. And I can't say enough about the people that were there, willing to help somebody else, another American who was shot. And certainly that was a young gentleman. I think he was in his 30s. I think he was there with his wife and his child. And I think he was just there to enjoy a beautiful sunny day and be there to enjoy this rally. This was the first Trump rally I've ever been to. And I'm so happy that there were people there that helped. Yeah. If I can comment, later on I was walking and I was a bit in shock, and there's a video of me with blood on my face and blood on my shirt. And as I'm walking along, I get interviewed. Just after that interview, there was an Army combat veteran just off the screen. And he came up to me immediately afterwards and leaned into me and said, "Brother, you got blood on your face. Here's the water." I washed it off. Then I handed him the bottle back, and he said to me, he put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Brother, are you okay?" That's what it's all about for me, for America, speaking out and helping others that are in need. As much as I helped that gentleman, that Army vet helped me.
Dr. Jim Sweetland, thank you so much for your actions and for being with us this morning.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate it.
Now, speaking of doctors, what in the world was going on with this guy's mind right here? This is a terrible tragedy. What gets an individual? What did it's in their head for them to think they could go do this? I mean, the guy traveled from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, where he's living with his mom and dad, who are therapists, who are like doctors themselves, therapists, and then travel an hour with a gun and then go climb up on a building. And what did he expect was going to happen? Was this some sort of mission where he knew he wasn't going to come back, like the point of no return mission, SUICIDE mission? Or did he want to get caught? Did he want to be famous? Did he want to be the next Lee Harvey Oswald? But this is a photo of him. There's very rare photos as of now. We're still digging in to get more photos. But here's a rare photo of him, apparently taken in high school. He graduated in 2022 from Bethel Park High School, the local school there. Classmates have come forward and said he's been bullied. Is this some sort of revenge because of all his bullying? Or is he a paid assassin? Did, someone pay him to go do this? Is he working with anyone? That remains to be seen, but we are studying this guy to a T and trying to understand who this dude is and why he did it. I am JLR Investigates. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button. Who is that guy? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll be reading your comments, and when more information comes out about him, more photographs, I will share with all of you on this channel. I am JLR Investigates. Stay tuned.